Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. And also, kind of a surprise guest that resulted from an email this morning is Dr. Elizabeth Cornwell. I had it right the first time. She is the executive director of the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science in America, and they, you see that the red A, for atheism, and that came from her, and it's for the whole thing of coming out atheism. They have a website. Well, can I call you Elizabeth, Liz, or Dr. Cornwell?
Oh, Liz is fine.
Oh, fantastic. You have a website.
Only my mother calls me Dr. Cornwell, so.
Okay. Well, Liz, you have a website called outcampaign.org.
Yes. And
this is a project, really, of the Richard Dawkins Foundation, and you pretty much had the Coming Out Atheist resource there. What can you tell us that you do and why it's important for people to come out atheist?
The whole concept was when we started the website in 2006, when it was very early on and we had actually had time to read all the emails coming in when it first started, there were a lot of people who wrote in to say, gosh, it's just amazing that there are other people like me out there. And I'm a scientist, Richard the scientist, and for us, it's actually more unusual to meet someone who's not an atheist. So it's a little sort of a different twist on it. And some of the letters were just so touching about how much they wanted to be a part of the community and didn't feel that they could. And they were from all over the United States and around the world, in fact. Mm-hmm. And at about the same time, there was a campaign. I lived in Colorado Springs at the time. There was a campaign called the Moo. It was the Born Different campaign, which was nicknamed the Moo campaign. It was sponsored by the Gill Foundation in Colorado Springs, and it was to promote acceptance of gays and lesbians. And they had this little cute little thing with a dog who mooed instead of barked and just said some people are born different. And it really caught on in a very in a really nice concept. It reminded me of the various campaigns, civil rights campaigns. I'm old enough to remember that, and of course the gay rights campaigns and women's liberation, and the fact of acceptance of being part of the norm is so critical to what the whole movement is about. Not so much changing people's religious beliefs, but just so people know that atheists, they probably know an atheist, like they probably know a gay person, and they know a minority, and that we're not the exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. When you meet a nice atheist or free thinker, that we actually, like everyone else, and I'm an evolutionary psychologist, and for me that means that humans have more likes than different. We have the same goals in terms of having a family and falling in love and having a good career and taking care of our children and taking care of our families and having good friends. And those things we all share in common, whether or not we're religious. So the Out campaign is more about, one, letting people know that we're out there, that being an atheist is not a scary thing. We have moral values, we vote, which is really important, as you pointed out earlier. And we have opinions. We are not a single dimension in terms of personalities. We're from different political spectrums. We're different ages. We're different educational. We've had different educational backgrounds. And then the other aspect of that is to let people feel comfortable. So we're not outing anyone, but what we're doing is trying to make people comfortable in just being able to say, oh yeah, I'm an atheist. And it has caught on. It went viral. And,
Good.
It's pretty amazing when I see the A sort of pop-up places and the out pop-up places that I don't quite expect. In fact, we had one gentleman from outside of Oklahoma City, which is not, Oklahoma is not really known for it. It's the one state that actually tried to ban Richard from speaking at the University of Oklahoma, at one of the state university. So, so they're not known for being very tolerant. But there was a guy who sent us a picture from his place outside Oklahoma City with a big A flag and a Marine flag, right, and of course an American flag, which was wonderful. He had it custom made, so it's it's doing fairly well. It's been around for I guess it would be 3 years. I think. And
basically, you have the 5 things: come out, which basically come out of the closet, reach out, let other people know they're not alone. Speak out, and keep out, which I would put circle that in red and put 15 stars around it.
Yeah, for me that's incredibly important.
It is. Yeah. The keep out is about using your vote and to keep some of these real far right religious Christian nationalists out of office. And then the other one is stand out. And so people can go to outcampaign.com, or should they go to Richard Dawkins net, or how can they get involved?
They can do either one. They can Google Google the Out campaign. It'll come up with this page, or they can go to the Richard Dawkins net or .com. We have both website, and then you can see on the right-hand side there'll be an Out campaign. And in going back to what you were speaking about earlier regarding the political activism of the Christians, the more fundamentalist Christians, this is just so critical, and they've been active for a long time, and they're very well organized, and the voting in the local elections is actually the most critical.
I agree.
Because they organize, and it's the vote that most people ignore. Mm-hmm. And yet it's the vote that has the most significance on their local politics. And having lived in Colorado Springs, I know just how important that vote is, and I've seen some amazing things go on, but it is incredibly critical, and that was the campaign that they launched after they lost the bid for the presidency and lost badly, is they very cleverly went back to the drawing board and came up with a political plan.